What's a good word, buddies? It's Concert Buddy. Hey, this week's video, went to the record show and it was kind of a bust.
Milk was a bad choice.
So I'll get into that a little bit, and then I'm going to talk about just a few pickups I've had of late that I think are pretty cool and things I want to pass on to you, the viewer. So cue the lever. I'll see you after the break. So buddies, as I said in the open, this was the weekend of our local record show here in the Metro St. Louis area. I think they put on like 4 or 5 shows a year, probably 5 now. And as I'm sure some of you guys can attest, sometimes when you go to the show, it's just like going to the record store. Sometimes it's a bust. Sometimes there's just nothing that really sings to you.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back,
Chili's baby back ribs.
And I think I was due. I'd had a couple good runs at previous shows. I showed some stuff in previous videos. I think a second pressing Shotgun Willie that Friday the 13th, or not Friday the 13th, pardon me. Nightmare on Elm Street, 5 soundtrack, stuff like that, just off top of mind. But this show wasn't for lack of want, and it wasn't for a lack of vendors. There was a healthy turnout. I saw even some new vendors. There's an antique store, Frenchtown Antiques. I've shopped with them a couple times recently, and I found them on Instagram. Now they set up a shop at the record show, but it's kind of like I've been, I don't know, I guess 2022 is the year of just intentional purchases when it comes to my collection. And that's not to say I'm not buying stuff on a whim or I'm trying things out. I'm still trying to keep true to that approach, but by and large, I'm kind of pushing my chips in more on intentional pieces that I know I'll listen to and I know I'll enjoy adding to the collection. So, you know, it was just roll the dice. That looks like something else, but that was me rolling dice, I promise. So, you know, it's just my turn to go to the show. I actually ran into a couple subscribers. I don't want to use your government names on here without your permission, but you know who you are if you're watching this. So awesome to meet you guys. If you want to drop your names down in the comments below so I know, or you can say, hey, it was me. That way I know who your YouTube handle is and I can just know that as a personal. Cool, if not, no biggies. But what a delight to meet people who come up to you and say, hey, subscribe to your channel, really enjoy it, whatever. You know, obviously that's better than the opposed of people coming up and saying, you know, I've watched your channel and it straight sucks.
Hey, bud, what's your problem?
So, I know there's one person out there who feels that way, and that person, John, will remain nameless directly. But anyway, so nice to meet you guys. Real pleasure talking to you. I hope you guys had some great scores at the show. I know one of those viewers did show me a really cool Japanese Runaways piece, which I was a little jealous of because I'd never seen it before. But anyway, enough about the show. Bust for me, hopefully a win for those 2 terrific subscribers. But that doesn't mean that the train is not rolling into Collection Town. So let me show you what I got outside of the record show.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
So I ordered this through my friends at Platinum Records in Loveland, Ohio. I've talked about them before. This is Us 3, Hand on the Torch. I remember this from back in the day because it had that really terrific song, Cantaloupe Flip Fantasia, using some jazz samples into a more contemporary type of performance. I think this is in the 90s is when this came out. But let's see, 1993. Wow, I'm dating myself there. Anyway, I do have an OG of this, but when I saw Music on Vinyl, which is a pretty good reissue label based in Europe, was pumping one out. I was curious, so I did do a needle drop. Not for the full record. I pretty much was lazy and did Cantaloupe and kind of tasted where that landed. Sounds good. Sounds really nice. I prefer the OG personally. Has a little bit more vibrance, a little bit more life to it. But that's not to say this isn't a great pickup, particularly because I think on the aftermarket, if you're trying to track down an OG, it can be tough. It was tough for me for a while. So if this is something you'd be interested in, highly recommend tracking it down. Again, Music on Vinyl, does really nice stuff, really nice reissues, and you know, you can't go wrong when you ever see Blue Note by and large. Obviously, Universal Music Group, who I made a video about recently about the price increases, whatever. Generally, you know, I have some thoughts on them, but this is a great recording that I was able to track down, add to the collection, and like I said, OG still trumps this in my opinion. I'll show you what's next.
It's crazy talk.
Okay, so I've seen several folks in the VC have picked up this copy. It's the Black Keys' newest record, Dropout Boogie. The lead single is Wild Child. Maybe you've heard of it on the radio. Pretty decent album in the little sampling I've done so far. You know, obviously Black Keys do a lot of deliberate and intentional issuing of variants, exclusive editions, so forth, to be a proponent of listening to music on vinyl. This release was no different. They had obviously standard black. They had an indie exclusive, which is kind of like a cream color, and that was the one I almost got, but then I saw that they had a, I guess, website exclusive pink variant. Let me show that to you. That I thought was just a great execution. I mean, this thing is, it's got a little tinge, kind of like purple. I don't know if they can pick that up on the old iPhone camera here, but you know, it goes really well with the obviously pink here on the album jacket. But solid record. You know, I've seen the Black Keys in concert before. I enjoy their work. They're not one of my like favorite bands, but I do enjoy Dan Auerbach and Patrick Kearney's work. This is no different. Like I said, I think it's obviously still in print. It just came out. I think the indie exclusives may be harder to track down, so if you're a little late to picking this up, I think they're out there. You probably got to shop your locals a little hard to track one of those down, but then obviously it comes in the standard black too. So glad to add this one to the collection.
I've been practicing for years.
All right, so while the record show was a bust this morning, when I came home, I had a nice FedEx, or actually UPS through USPS. I think MoFi and Music Director doing it differently. Anyway, had a nice package waiting for me, and it's this Grateful Dead, Working Man's Dead MoFi treatment that just recently came back into print. My copy, as a matter of fact, is 005091. So don't know how many that they're issuing. I assume that the first batch of these was up to 5,000, just a guess. So I'm assuming this is probably another batch. It could be 5,000 to 10,000, 5,000 to 7,000. I'm not exactly sure. You know, I'm kind of a late adapter or late fan into the Dead. I do enjoy certain parts of their catalog. I am trying to get all these issues or reissues, if you will, on through Mobile Fidelity on wax. I think I'm getting close. I think there's only a couple other records that I don't have that were reissued by Mobile Fidelity over the years. I've got Skull and Bones. What else do I have? Working for Allah, those sort of things. But anyway, as you can see, I haven't even opened this because this is so mail fresh that I'll be trying this one out later. I did get the, side note, I did get the Vinyl Me Please Grateful Dead box set. Wasn't really big into box sets at the time, but Vinyl Me Please, to their credit, did such a fantastic job. I believe they worked exclusively with QRP Acoustic Sounds out in Salina, Kansas, on how they executed that, and A+. So that was kind of my, I wouldn't say my only entry point into the Dead, but you know, they did such a nice job, nice sounding records, reissues, how they did that, different color variants, all that stuff, that it kind of started me on the snowballing of checking out the Dead, getting their back catalog, all that sort of stuff. So really looking forward to checking this one out soon.
Do you want to see something super cool that only 3 people have ever seen in their life?
All right, last record I'm going to show for this week, guys, is a bootleg of work, Megadeth Countdown to Extinction. This recently came in stock at a couple different shops, at least that I've known. Riverbend Records, Billy Hurst, you've heard me talk on the channel before, was lucky enough to get some of these copies, blew right through them pre-order. But anyway, if you've been trying to get this record, you already know the pain. No US release outside of the Mobile Fidelity one, which is crazy money. I'm still kicking myself. Years ago, I was in Amoeba, LA, and they had it on the wall for $150, which that's not cheap, but in hindsight, knowing what the record has move to price-wise, well north of 150. It's one I think about even now. There were a couple of earlier pressings in different countries on this record, but those also are pretty healthy in value, if you will. But I generally don't play in the bootleg arena, but with something like this, which you don't know if it's ever going to get reissued, I don't know if it's some kind of songwriting, publishing, licensing, something going on between Megadeth and Capitol. I'm not exactly sure. There was even conjecture that the Mobile Fidelity release from years ago was not exactly true to the original release. Maybe Dave and guys redid some of the work on there, changed the sound. I don't know. I mean, again, this is all internet hyperbole, but with this bootleg, I didn't want to miss it. It's actually comes on. You ready? This really sweet blue wax. I have put it on. Sounds great. Sounds really good. I mean, for a bootleg, it's amazing. You know, these bootlegs that I've kind of dabbled. I think this is my third one, maybe. And again, not sourced from the tapes. I have a high suspicion that's not the case on these, but they do a really nice job in making them sound pretty good.
Always check the facts, then you decide. That's a tip from me, Mr. T.
Buddies, that's all she wrote for this week. Did you guys find anything cool on vinyl? Did you go on any shows? Maybe if you go to my local St. Louis show and watch, tell me what you picked up, or did you pick up anything, pre-orders, like drop the hot goodness. I'm always interested and inspired by what you guys leave in the comments, for the most part, unless you've got troll tendencies, but that's few and far between. I've got a really great group of folks who have really let me know they watch the channel, like the videos, all that kind of stuff. So if you found something, let me know what you found. I'm always stoked to hear about your vinyl adventures as well. And until next time, if you get the chance, just spin it. I'll see you soon.
Well, well, well. How the turntables...
Well, we out of time.